This person, they're literally watching me, so that's good. In fact, they have stopped right beside the car to stare at me. It's Monday. It's already almost noon. Well, it's 11:30. I wanted to get the day started a little earlier, but I was tired, so I just let myself sleep, which is kind of nice when you don't have a set work schedule again, but it's nice because you get to actually like honor how you're feeling and you don't have to force yourself to do things until you're ready to do them. And as long as you still do them, that's what matters. Now, I am on my way to the bookstore. I didn't show you the gift tally whiteboard wall. I'll insert a clip of it here, but I did hit the 20 hours of web dev. I actually went well over. I'm just saving those other hours. I'm gonna go to one of the Indigos in Vancouver. That's one of the bookstores in Canada, because I get to buy a book. I have my laptop. I think that first I'm gonna go and sit in the coffee shop right beside the bookstore, and I'm gonna do a couple hours of work first, and then I'll get the book after I've done that, those couple hours of work. Because if I buy the book now, I feel like I'll be distracted and I won't get the work done. So that's where we're off to now. I've been home for a few hours. It's around 4:30. I don't want to be working on website development anymore, but I still am because I'm trying to figure out like how to set up a local testing environment, kind of. Basically, I just want to be able to like create websites without having to buy a domain to test them on, which usually you do by setting up a local server. And I've been running into an issue. I've just been frustrated. So that's why I'm still doing development, because I'm trying to get this local testing server set up. I think I've got it figured out now, but I did get Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare from the bookstore, which I'm very excited about. I don't think I'm gonna start it tonight. I might start it before bed. We'll see. Sometimes that's a bad idea because then I want to keep reading. I also got this mug because the Cassandra Clare book was on sale, and I had like a points discount at Indigo because I collect points with them. So I basically got the book, the hardcover special edition new release book, and this mug for $30, which is that's like less than what I was expecting to spend on the book itself. Look at it. It has little moons and stars and sunshines, and it says meditate and caffeinate. And if that's not me, then I don't know what is. So I'm gonna set myself a limit. I'm going to allow myself to work until 5 p.m. to get this local environment set up so that I'm ready to go for tomorrow when I need to actually start testing this. But then I'm gonna take a break. I'm going to clean because my house desperately needs it, and I'm really hoping you can't tell from whatever framing I've got set up here. And then I want to do some writing. I want to like set up the ambiance. I want to open up my document, play the playlist for Between the Waves, and I want to like get sucked into the story a little bit, you know? I want to use my own manuscript right now as some form of escapism. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I had like a flash of a book cover this morning that I feel like I need to create, but I have to sit down and actually do some like drawing for it. Like I have to actually do some art. It's been a long time since I did that, but it's like an updated Between the Waves cover, because the one that I put together already that I've used a couple times when I'm talking about the project is not usable really. It's just like a fake mock-up with an image that I found on Pinterest that belongs to someone else, so I can't actually use that cover. But I had a really great idea for the cover of Between the Waves that I'm gonna have to start working on, because it's gonna be an entirely custom illustration, and I have not been practicing my illustrations as far as like human faces go, because that's just like not usually what I illustrate. But this morning I'm gonna put together a little kind of like to-do list for the day, and and then I'm going to start my day off with writing. Sometimes I go back and forth and I write in the morning, and then I'll write in the afternoon for a few days. I think that it would work better if I wrote in the morning these days, just to get through it, because I keep getting sucked into my development work and working on my portfolio and stuff, and then I'll work until I'm basically exhausted, and then I don't feel like I really have the energy to like also write. And I do a little bit of writing because I'm still excited about the story, but it's funny how when you're working in an office, you're overworked on someone else's agenda, I guess. But then when I'm working at home, it's like I'll overwork myself as well. I mean, I still feel better about it because it's things that I'm really excited about and I love doing, but balance is something that I am always fighting for. So I am going to meditate and caffeinate. I actually think I'll probably caffeinate first and then meditate. And then I'm gonna do some writing to start the day off. Okay, it's currently 11:30. I just finished writing. I set a sprint timer for 15 minutes. I went way over. I ended up getting, that's my broken fridge. We just have to wait for that to stop. It should get replaced at some point this week. So I ended up staying focused for 52 minutes today. If you use the Forest app, you should totally turn on, there's like a setting that you can turn on where, oh yeah, it's called Count Exceeded Time. It will continue counting for you if you go over your sprint and you don't like turn off the timer. So it will continue counting for you so that if you go over time, you still keep track of that time and you still get points on the app. I keep that on because sometimes, like today, I set a 15-minute sprint and then I'm like super stoked that it kept counting because I ended up writing for 52 minutes instead of 15. All because I was just like super into it. So my goal was to write for an hour today. I'm probably gonna go over an hour because I'm gonna do one more 15-minute sprint, but I just wrote like 1,983 words. So I wrote almost 2,000 words. This was an exciting scene. The next scene is even more exciting. It's almost like a mini, what would you call that? Like a mini climax, I guess. It's basically the midpoint. So we've gotten to the midpoint. Hallelujah for that. We're at 55,000 words. My brain is like super happy for to have a manuscript that's 100,000 words. And I feel like it's a good standard anyways, because for the genre that I write, it makes sense to be around 100,000 words. So I'm gonna do another 15-minute writing sprint. First, I need to eat something and take a short break. And I think I wanna meditate. And then I am going to do another 15-minute sprint. And then another thing I have on my to-do list is to plan out the next 5 chapters. The next one I pretty much already have planned out because it is the midpoint and a lot goes on and there's a couple moving pieces that kind of like are almost subplots that need to connect here. So I've already started to plan that one. And the chapter after that, it seems. So I just need to do the next 3 or 4 chapters then. And then that's pretty much all I wanted to do for writing today, besides doing some reading of a craft book. But honestly, I might keep writing today just because I'm excited about the scenes and I'm feeling really good about it. So that's where we're at. So we hit 56,000 words. but that's also including, I've written up the summary or kind of like the key things that need to happen in the next 5 chapters. So that means that we wrote a total of 2,953 words today, which is freaking fantastic, to be honest. Pat on the back for me. Great job, Kayla. I'm feeling so good about this. I have, like I said, the next 5 chapters planned. I feel like this has happened before for me, and I know that it happens with a lot of other writers. Act 2 tends to be a struggle point for a lot of people, I've noticed. Everyone's got their own like struggle areas, but when it comes to Act 2, I think that it becomes such a struggle because it has the most moving parts, because you've laid everything out in Act 1 and now the fun and games are happening, the action is happening, all of the plot lines are starting to interact with each other, things are changing, there's a lot to keep track of. It's also the biggest act, you know, it makes up like 50% of the entire book, if not a bit more. So it's a lot to tackle. Something that I have noticed, and I think that this is going to come more and more with the more books I finish, and I know that this is advice from literally every writer who has ever successfully finished a book, but genuinely you just have to keep writing and trust the process. And that's something that I've learned, because I get to these areas of the story that are very muddy and they don't really make sense, and I'm not sure where I'm going with it, and I don't know if I've written enough, I don't know if the pacing makes sense, I don't know if I've forgotten about certain plot lines, and things just kind of start to get very murky. And that can be the point where I feel like people start to fall off, like people start to not finish the draft because they're like, I have no idea where this is going, I don't know what I'm doing. I have a plan, because like I have a plan, it's a pretty long outline, and I still get to this point in Act 2 where everything's very murky. And I've noticed, because I am getting towards the Dark Night of the Soul, or the end of Act 2 now, just before the end of Act 2, and I'm getting towards it, and I really had to fight from like almost the beginning of Act 2 up to this point. I really had to fight to get those words out the entire time, which, you know, the entire time is like 30,000 words. I felt like I had no idea what was going on. I felt like things were wrong. I was missing things. It didn't make sense. It wasn't good. And now I'm getting towards the end of Act 2, and it's like the little puzzle pieces are falling into place. And I feel like this is why people are like, you just need to keep writing, even if you're confused, and even if you think it's bad, even if you think you're missing something, or the plot's not strong enough, or something's wrong. Obviously there are situations where you should stop writing and do something else, for example, or there are other ways to kind of deal with the writer's block or the negative feelings that you're having about the story. But in most of these situations, for me, if I just keep on writing, I keep on getting those words out, and if you just keep working on it, you literally can't fail. That's the thing about perseverance, is that if you never quit and you never give up, there is literally no such thing as failure. I feel like that mentality and the feelings of just like, just keep pushing, just keep going. If you just keep going, you can't fail. Like, there's no such thing as failure as long as you keep on trying. That mentality has been really beneficial, because for me, I already knew that I was going to be writing my whole life, because I have already been writing my whole life, and I've never not loved stories, and I've never not wanted to write. So I've taken the idea that like storytelling is just the thing that I do, and it's the thing that I'll always do. I've kind of placed it parallel to my like professional writing journey now, in that this is something that I'm going to do all the time anyways. And if I keep that mentality and apply it to my professional writing mentality, then I'm going to be doing this forever. Therefore, it's literally impossible for me to fail at this. So that's my advice for if you're trying to get through Act 2, and also if you're trying to make it as a writer, is literally just keep writing. And it sounds delusional, and it probably sounds overly optimistic, but if you never stop writing, and if you never stop trying, if you never stop getting the words down, and it's something you love to do anyways, so you know that you're going to keep on going, then you're never going to fail. It genuinely is that simple. So I am now going to have a little meditation. The rest of my day is website development, having a meeting with a client, and then going to hoop tonight. So I'm gonna end off the vlog here because this is all the writing that I'm gonna be doing for today. Thank you so much to everyone who watched the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got something from this video. I hope that it could inspire you and kind of give you the motivation that you're looking for today to get back into your writing. Please feel free to support me over on Patreon if you like the videos that I create and you want more in-depth ones and you just want to support my writing journey. I would much appreciate that as well. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.